I am of the personal belief that Clubhouse has the potential to be as big and strong as a TikTok or an Instagram or a Twitter, or Facebook. I really, truly believe that.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Real Podcast. I'm your host, David Moya. Today we have a special guest, Janie Coffey. She is a real estate agent based out of Florida, and she is doing a phenomenal job with using the Clubhouse app to grow her business. So, Janie, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, David. I'm super excited to be with you.
So real quick, before we dive into the app, I want people to know a little bit about who you are. So what got you into real estate? When did you get into real estate?
So I came into real estate kind of in a backwards way from college. I, in college, started working for a commercial developer in Washington, D.C., and worked for a developer or in very high-end commercial development in downtown D.C. for about 4 or 5 years of my early career. Spent 5 years in Germany, came back, ended up in Florida, and ended up doing general construction, so general contracting, again for commercial space. And I did that for about 10 years. I'm a licensed GC in the state of Florida. And after 10, at that point, I had been in the whole business 15 plus years, so getting really burnt out with commercial general contracting, and started doing house flips on the side with my then husband, and just really started to enjoy that more, and made a complete career switch about 16 years ago now to the residential side. Kept my license, but got out of doing general contracting for third-party people, and now only do real estate brokerage and real estate investment and advisory stuff, and a lot of training and coaching.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah, and I think I apologize. So you were referred to me by an agent out here in San Diego who says you're doing a phenomenal job. What's that?
By Joy.
Yeah, and so you and I are just now meeting, and I think I messed up your name. It's Janie. I think I was calling you Janie.
Yeah.
So
like
Janie. My apologies. So Janie Coffey, and you tell me, are you leveraging that last name? You got to be in somewhere or another.
I am. So our logo is a coffee mug. We happen to be right next door to a coffee shop. We have really nice coffee at our open houses. Everything is around coffee, hospitality, warmth, hominess, all that kind of stuff. Coffee for closing gifts.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. So you got into real estate, and what about it did you fall in love with right away?
I really never intended to get into residential real estate. Like I said, I was doing flipping with my ex-husband as a way to bridge myself out of commercial general contracting, because I've been doing that for so long. I was so burnt out of that, and ended up right before the big recession, so 2005-06, and ended up doing a lot of short sales when the recession hit, and really enjoyed helping people get through, because that's a really tough position to be in, and really enjoyed helping people. I didn't enjoy them being in that position, but I enjoyed helping them find a path to put it behind them. Opened a brokerage, had a brokerage for several years, ended up joining the Sotheby's in Miami, got into senior management down there, really helped them go from 40 to 400 agents.
Wow.
Moved markets 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now, from a cold start, moved up to Northeast Florida, which is 6 hours north. Didn't know a single person, started completely from scratch. And I had made a promise to myself that I would be in the top 10 in our MLS within 3 years. And I was number 9 in my second year in.
Wow.
Just like dove in head first. I didn't have a social life, still don't have a social life. But just really hard and really love real estate. And that's what I've been doing since I've been up here.
You said you don't have a social life?
No.
Unless you tell your clients, right?
COVID, but no, I mean, just work really hard, and I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the properties and our clients and stuff like that.
Well, great. I mean, I'm sure that's like we can talk about that. Maybe have you back to talk about just your history and also just your success and how you helped companies grow. And now you're obviously growing your own company and your own team, right?
Right. We have a team. We have a small boutique team. We focus predominantly on historic properties, historic luxury properties. In St. Augustine, Florida is our largest market, which is the oldest city in the United States.
It's the oldest?
The oldest city, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. St. Augustine.
Yeah, and my family's been there. One of the reasons I ended up here, I'm 15th generation from St. Augustine. So it's something cool. I mean, it doesn't help in business, but it's a cool, fun fact.
All right, so let's jump into some Clubhouse stuff, and then maybe we can circle back on some other interesting topics as well. But Clubhouse, the app it's relatively new for me as well, and which is why I wanted to have somebody who has a lot of experience and who's doing a great job using it and leveraging it come talk on the show. I was introduced to it by one of our videographers. He's like I guess he referred or recommended me, and I guess that's how it works, because you have to be recommended internally, or whoever's in the group already can, right?
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about how it works.
Yeah, so Clubhouse is a purely audible based social media app. So nothing else, no video, no photos, no anything other than people's voices. Right. And I think now, especially in the days of COVID, where we're kind of starved for real connections with other people, there's something about connecting with somebody with a voice rather than just photos or text, or they post a photo or a video then and then you swipe by it then and make a comment. That's a different kind of connection than when you're actually communicating 100%. With your voice, because you're present, you're sharing your presence with whomever else is in the room with you at that time. And I think, like I said, certainly COVID has probably enhanced the use of Clubhouse. Yeah. One, because people are really kind of thirsty for that communication with other humans. And then two, we're spending a lot more time at home or not out. So you just have a lot more time to be in Clubhouse.
And so basically what I understand is you have to be, referred in or brought in by somebody who's in the club already, Clubhouse. And you can set up meetings and events, and you can host events, meetings. Like I was a part of a few the other day. That's how I reconnected with Joy. Okay. And just saw how she was hosting almost like a networking event that you would typically have to go drive to be a part of, or join some sort of BNI to be a part of. And this is very kind of open forum. There's no, I think there are some things where some clubs or some groups will have you, meet certain criteria, like you have to be, an agent, let's say, for example, and then you have to also be, in a certain area or something like that. But I think for the most part, it's kind of open, or am I not?
So it's just like, I say it's just like akin to Facebook groups. So you can have open Facebook groups, you can have closed Facebook groups, you can have private Facebook groups. So clubs, which is the same as groups, somebody has to start the club and have admins of the club. Clubs can be open that anybody can follow, or clubs can be publicly visible, but you have to join or be accepted if you meet certain criteria, or I believe there are closed clubs as well. So it's the same way, but just like with Facebook, you don't have to belong to any club to participate. There's a gazillion rooms, which is the same thing as a Facebook event or, a live thing like this.
Yes.
They're going on constantly on every single topic under the sun. Sure. Zillion about real estate investing in general, all the hot topics, right? Cryptocurrency.
Right.
But every other topic, health, writing, sport, whatever topic, just like Facebook, whatever topic somebody's interested in, there's probably a couple clubs and rooms around that topic. Yeah,
I saw that. There's like stuff on relationships, science, whatever, spirituality. I mean, there's just
everything.
A ton of information. So, and how did you get started? And did you know right away this is something that you wanted to really take advantage of?
So I've always been, since the advent of social media, I'm I'm old enough to predate social media. I've always been like an early adopter or an early interested person in new social media. So, of course, as soon as I heard about Clubhouse, it was like December, January, which is not that long ago in real life, but it's very long ago in Clubhouse. So Clubhouse has been around since, I think it was just a year ago, but very, very few people were on up until December. It seems to be like when it really started to shift. And when Joy and I, we both kind of joined at the same time, there was around 1 million people, plus or minus 1 million people. And a few weeks ago, there was already 10 million people. I'm sure it's 12 or 15 million at this point because it's being exponentially growing.
Right.
And you're right. So just like at the very beginning when you had to get an invite to get a Gmail, you have to get an invite to be able to join Clubhouse, and I think it's important that people know, if you don't have an invite, go ahead, download the app, set up your profile, and it connects to your contacts. And as soon as you set your profile up, it's going to send out a little notification to all your contacts already on Clubhouse, and it'll say, hey, David Moya wants to join Clubhouse. Should we go ahead and let him in? And you can hit yes, let him in, and it doesn't use up anybody's invites because you have a limited number of invites.
It's 5, right?
Well, when you first join, it's 1. And then as you get involved, they start giving you in bundles of 3. So as long as you're active, you'll always have a few invites, and they are like a commodity. Like I belong to a group of people who have moved to Puerto Rico because of the tax benefits. And of course, they all wanted to join. And I was like, well, I have invites if anybody. So now I've made like 5 new friends because I gave them an invite. They're like, if there's anything I can ever do for you.
Nice.
So it's like a currency. But the one thing that is really important is if you're going to give somebody one of your invites, make sure they have an iPhone because it's iPhone only right now.
Really? Okay.
And I made that mistake. Yeah, I made that mistake with my very first invite. I gave it to an Android person. Make sure they're going to use it, because if you're going to invite somebody and they're just not going to use it, then you've used up your precious number of invites. But again, it doesn't matter huge because somebody can always download the app, and for sure within a few hours they'll get pulled in off the wait list.
That's great. And so the point of it really is to connect and connect live and connect almost on the go, right? I mean, I was on a couple while I was driving. You know, even when I was walking I was walking my girls in the morning, I could listen to one or be a part of one. And sometimes they'll ask you to be a part of it. They might ask you to be on the panel or a host as well.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways that rooms, which is the same thing as an event, there's 2 ways rooms can happen. They can happen organically, where somebody just, hey, David, let's make a room right now, and people who follow me, people who follow you will see that we're in a room, and they might come over. That's a spontaneous kind of room.
Nice.
More likely they're scheduled, just like Facebook events are scheduled. And if you follow someone, especially if you hit the little bell next to their name because you really like them, you'll be notified when they have scheduled a room, like in advance. Somebody scheduled, hey, luxury marketing for your waterfront property. And if that's of interest to you, as soon as they schedule it, that will show up on your hallway. So you can see that scheduled, and you can actually hit to have that sent over to your Google Calendar, or I think there's 2 or 3 calendars you can connect to it. I'm
gonna hit your bell right now.
Oh yeah, hit my bell.
I know to see all your
and then
rooms.
Scroll down, and then the farthest 2 clubs on the left, the Luxury Real Estate Mastermind and the Real Estate Agent on Fire, are the 2 clubs that I either founded or admin. I admin the Luxury Real Estate Mastermind, which is Joy's club. She founded that club, and I founded the club Real Estate Agent on Fire. So you can hit those 2, so that anybody in that club, if they host a room out of either one of those clubs, you'll also be notified.
Got it.
So it's important not just to follow people, but it's important to follow clubs that are around the topics that you're interested in.
Got it. Okay. And then now the big question.
How do you get
the question? The question everybody's wanting to hear.
Everybody asks.
you know, you don't have to go into specifics. You know, I'm respectful of that. Like, if you know, just kind of like, how are you using it? Have you seen, what are some of the best practices? You know, you don't have to give us line by line how you're, you know, crushing the competition, so to speak. But just, you know, how can an agent utilize this app? Is it worth their time? Is it something that's going to fade out?
Yeah, so I have 3 answers to that. I am of the personal belief that Clubhouse has the potential to be as big and strong as a TikTok or an Instagram or a Twitter, or Facebook. I really, truly believe that, because, again, I think people are really thirsty for real live connections with people, not just the superficial swiping and commenting and liking, but real life connections. And nobody can run my Clubhouse account. It's my voice. I have a distinctive voice. So there's no social media manager running my Clubhouse account.
Good
and
point.
you see people like Grant Cardone or Elon Musk or a lot of other, like them or not, they're very, very busy and very, very successful people, and they're devoting a lot of time to Clubhouse. They're seeing something beneficial about that. So if they're seeing that it's worth 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is of their day, I can guarantee you that 10 minutes of Grant Cardone's time is worth a whole lot more than 10 minutes of Janie Coffey's time, right? So I think that that's a good indicator that people, and it's not just them, a huge number of the people who are on Clubhouse are very, very successful people having very high level conversations. It's not the fluff of Instagram. I love Instagram, but it's not that superficial fluff. It's meaty, real conversations at a high level. When you see that many people whose time is very precious spending the time on there, I think that's something to model. But down to the meat of your question, I'm using it in 3 ways. One, I'm using it as real estate university, meaning I've joined so many rooms and participated in so many rooms that have already upped my own game as far as what are other agents doing, because the culture of Clubhouse is very open, it's very sharing, it's very giving. And it's not just light, superficial stuff, it's really meaty stuff. So I'm learning so much more about my own craft by being there. So that's the first way. The second way is, historically, 35% of my business as it is comes from agent to agent referrals. I spend a lot of time connecting with, networking with, training, sharing, learning from fellow agents across the country. This is a way, because again, it's very elevated people that are on Clubhouse. So this is a way for me to rebond with some people that, you know, I was connected with, you know, maybe 10 years ago and fell apart or fell away. And a lot of new great connections.
Like today.
Exactly. For example, again, Grant Cardone, love him or hate him, doesn't matter. He joined eXp Realty just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe, directly from the relationship that had only been forged 2 weeks before that with Lynn Sanford from eXp. That's a big deal. Again, whether you like them or not, that's a real big change that happened just from Clubhouse. So the second one is the networking with fellow agents. And then the third one, which we're not there yet, just like with Facebook, when Facebook just started, everybody's like, oh, my clients aren't on Facebook. And then when Instagram started, they're like, oh, my clients aren't on Instagram. Guess what everybody's clients are? Facebook and Instagram. So being the leader, the person in the front, I immediately, you now can start clubs within the app. Before 2 weeks ago, it was very hard to start a club. And a club is the same as the old gold rush of domain names, like Miami.com, right? The first was huge. It's the same way. You can only one person can have the same club name. Immediately, I got St. Augustine, Florida Club.
Nice.
I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just incubating it. It's sitting there because I don't believe a lot of the public is on Clubhouse right now, but I made sure to get it. And as I use Clubhouse more, I'll start reaching out to the influencers and the business people and the social media early adopter people in my market and start pulling them into the St. Augustine Club and make that the go-to club around St. Augustine. So it won't be about real estate, like my real estate business club, it'll be about the community of St. Augustine and sharing, promoting other businesses, connecting. We can have, on Mondays, we can have coffee chat, just what's going on Tuesdays. It could be the real estate market update. On Wednesdays, it could be, the new restaurant.
Right. Yep.
So everybody go get a club with your city or community name, even if you're brand new to Clubhouse. Well, you can't do it if you're brand new because you need a little bit of time before Clubhouse will allow you to start a club. But as soon as
I started recently, I don't know, I would say a month ago. How long until I can start a club?
So I would try immediately. And the way you do that is you scroll down. So go to your own profile.
You do this right now. Okay.
Scroll down to your own profile and scroll down to the very bottom where it'll show the other clubs that you belong to.
Yes.
And then scroll all the way to the far right of all those clubs. And if there's a little plus sign.
Little club. Oop.
Yep. So you can try it. Right. Exactly. That's right. Nice. So if you fill it out, it's either going to tell you, yes, you can do it or no, you can't based on how active you've been.
Got it.
The club name cannot exceed 25 characters, which is really short. I would tell everybody who's listening to this, even if they're not interested in Clubhouse, go grab that thing. It's just like, I wish I got Miami.com, right? I wish I got New York.com back in the day. And there's a lot of people who were smart back in the day that, grabbed a bunch of domain names. So right now you can do 2 clubs per month. You can start 2 new clubs per month. Oh,
2 per month. Got it. So be selective initially. Right, because you can't. Otherwise, if you're just kind of grabbing everything, then you're going to run out. You
can't, right? So I would immediately grab whatever area you serve.
Yes.
If it's Charleston, maybe Charleston Club, Charleston Network, whatever fits in 25 characters. Charleston Connect, whatever, and just grab that before somebody else does.
So I'm kind of gathering that you are not only creating clubs and being a part of clubs that are about your community, right? But you're also doing it like in clubs where other agents are there, so you can go agent to agent type referrals, right? So you have those 2. Any other that you do to kind of generate more leads or to grow your business? I mean, obviously you have your own likes and interests and hobbies outside of work, but just because we're kind of focusing on specifically growing your business with this. I'm getting community and agent groups.
Yep. And that's all I'm doing right now. Okay. I mean, I'm very interested in travel. So on my downtime, I might join some travel rooms and things like that. But when I'm mindful of my time for business, it's either agent to agent learning, networking, connecting, or incubating the one for my community.
Sure.
I think that's going to be a little bit longer before the general public. And when somebody that you're connected with, because it's connected to your contacts in your phone.
Sure. Yep.
I'm seeing, but for the most part, still the people that I'm seeing join are fellow agents, fellow tech people, entrepreneur type people,
sure.
Not necessarily my community people. Yeah.
So you envision something like, let's say, I'm in Carlsbad in San Diego, so it'd be like, let's say Carlsbad CA, whatever club. And then in there, I can host weekly, daily type of events where we can help promote businesses or
anything you want about Carlsbad.
Yeah.
You could basically make that club become the bulletin board of Carlsbad. You know, it can be, like I said, it can be about the sports. It can be about the economy. It can be about businesses. It can be about restaurants. It can be about real estate. And you can make it like your own little mini TV station, basic. And you can get, if there's a Carlsbad restaurant review where you can say, hey, would you like to, host a room every Wednesday at 4 p.m. in my Carlsbad? And so that's why it's so important to get that club for your geographic location right now.
Sure.
Incubate it and kind of build it up so that you don't want Carlsbad, the person who starts Carlsbad Club, to all of a sudden become the go-to person when you have Carlsbad Connector or something like that.
Right. Okay. Got it. Mm-hmm. Got it. Interesting. And you're doing this daily? Like, let's say, are you getting on to this Clubhouse?
I'm definitely participating daily. I'm definitely on daily. And so sometimes I just, like you said, I'll have some downtime. Maybe I'm reading emails, so I'll have Clubhouse next to me, especially in the morning. There's like the real estate coffee talk.
Yeah.
That starts at 6 or 6:30 in the morning. I might have that playing for a while. There's one every evening, real estate agents connecting with each other. But then I'm also mindful of the rooms that I want to make sure I participate in or listen to, that I can learn from, I can connect with, I can network with. And one thing I want to share is the way you grow followers is you have to participate. You can't just listen. So you participate when a room comes up that's interesting to you. You can raise your hand. That's at the bottom of the app. And you can raise your hand and, offer some insight or input to whatever they're speaking about, or you can ask a question. And as people in the audience see you having great dialogue, they're probably going to look over at your profile. And if they like what they read, they might follow you. They'll probably drop down to your Instagram. They're probably going to follow you on Instagram. They might DM you on Instagram. There's no DM function within Clubhouse right now, so most people will connect with you through Instagram DMs.
All right. I'm just writing these notes down. That's just great. Okay. I'm just putting it in that so when people watch it or listen to it, they can scroll through that. That's awesome. So that's how you grow your following. It's through participation.
That's how you grow your following. And then you can, of course, try to cross-promote your Clubhouse activities on your other social media channels. So a lot of people will be putting, if they're hosting a room, for example, I just did 2 trainings last Friday to 2 real estate groups that I train on Facebook, but I was doing a training on Clubhouse. So I shared that within the groups, and then I shared it outside and said, hey, come to this training on Clubhouse. So there's a lot of ways you can also promote that you are now on Clubhouse. Like I said, I shared with that Puerto Rico group and got several people because they need invites.
Nice.
So there's ways that you can cross promote it.
That's awesome. I'm doing, you might be proud of me already, but I'm doing a class or a group or a room next tomorrow actually, and I was promoting it in a Facebook group, and I did it on a bunch of groups. One of the groups deleted said it was self-promotion, and I was like, you don't understand. I'm just giving the class.
Yeah.
But, that's fine. So I mean, you can obviously share the link, and then if they don't have the app though, they'll need to get it.
So normally what I put when I share the link, and I say, hey, if you need an invite, if you're not already in Clubhouse and you have an iPhone, reach out to me, and then I'll explain to them. If I have invites, I'll give them. If not, I'll say, just go in, set your profile up. For sure, you're going to be pulled in off the wait list.
Sure. Okay.
But I tell people that in advance because you don't want people getting the app, 2 minutes before and realizing, oh, I don't have access.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that just about every single person within an hour of setting up their profile will be pulled off the wait list if they don't have an invite.
Wow. Okay. And now, Janie, are you giving classes on this like regularly?
I do a lot of classes. So Joy, I'm a moderator of Joy's Club, which is the Luxury Real Estate Mastermind.
Okay.
So we do quite a bit in there. And then, like I said, I started the Club Real Estate Agent on Fire, which is a club all around real estate agents who want to reach having enough passive income to replace their basic living expenses through proper investing and things like that. So those are the 2. And then I get asked to be on stage or moderate or admin quite a few clubs on different topics.
Nice. But like, I know you said you're a trainer as well, and or is that mainly within your team, your real estate team, that you're doing that?
No, I do a lot of outside. Well, it's on hiatus right now, but I generally do a fair amount of training to real estate agents in general, normally around luxury real estate, around moving to a new market and how to start over moving to a new market. Those are kind of the 2 main topics I do a lot of coaching and training on.
And then how can someone find out more information about that? What's the best place where they can contact you?
JanieInspires.com. I think that's the link. JanieInspires.com is the website for the training. Or it's probably Janie Coffey Training on Facebook. I don't remember the name of page.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the only Janie Coffey in real estate, so normally people can find me. I'd also like to say people really need to make sure that their bio is filled out. And you can make your bio as long as you want. The first 3 lines are the 3 most important lines, because that's like the little snippet that if somebody just pops, like if you're speaking in a room and they just hit you, they'll see your profile picture and then the first 3 lines. So make sure the first 3 lines are very, very indicative of what you do. I would definitely have, if you're in real estate, I would have the first line, the little red pin drop, and the city or community that you serve for SEO purposes, and just let that pops up at the
Really?
top. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all bios are searchable. Even the emojis are searchable.
Wow.
So definitely put the number 1 keyword you want as the first word in your bio. And then your bio can be as long as you want. There's no clickable links in there. So even if you drop your URL in there, it's not gonna be clickable. But the Instagram is clickable and the Twitter is clickable.
Sure.
So make sure to connect those 2, and make sure that I never used to check Instagram DMs, but I get a lot of people, and if you don't follow them, it doesn't show up. It shows up as a request.
Sure, I've seen that.
You have to make sure to be checking your DM requests frequently, especially if you just spoke, because without a doubt, somebody's going to reach out to you and ask you a question or say great job or something like that.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Janie. I know we could probably dive in deep on this even further, but you gave us a ton of information. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No. I mean, I just think that if Clubhouse is not your thing, don't feel like you need to do it. Yeah. But if it is your thing, find out how you can do it, and find out how you can do it well, right. and not just lose a lot of time on it. That's a very real risk. But be mindful about how you're going to use it. Try to, use it to grow your business, use it to connect with other agents. But be mindful about it, because you can end up losing like if you're worried about scrolling, imagine if you're actually talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
24/7. So you could be like, because there's people in California, they'll stay up till 4 a.m. and then that goes right into the people in England, and then that goes over to the people in Africa.
Sure.
And all of a sudden you're back around to us. So I would just be mindful of your use. And again, if it's not your thing, that's okay too. Right. Some people don't like to talk a lot. We as agents talk a lot. So some people like to be quiet sometimes. Sure.
You can always still use it for what your first example was, why you do it, right? It's just to learn. So if you're going to get on there, I mean, at least you can learn.
Hugely, right? Huge. Like, I haven't felt like I've gotten this much fresh, new real estate educational content in years. Like, it's really great. You just have to, again, be mindful. Follow the people that are very educational when you hear them speak. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can not miss when they're having a room or they're in a room. But yeah.
And follow those people, obviously, and
follow those people,
gain that information.
And find the right clubs. Don't forget to follow clubs. Yeah.
And then you're on Clubhouse, obviously. Any other platforms that you're on that people can connect with you?
I would say Clubhouse is my main platform. I'm on Instagram. I look at it every day, but I don't post a lot. So I'm like a lurker on Instagram. Yeah. I'm very active on Facebook.
Yes. Okay, so that's the best place to just go to.
Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your time. Would love to have you back maybe in the future to talk a little bit more about the specifics, and maybe as it evolves, you'll also find some new insight that you could share.
Love that.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
And have a good day. Enjoy your evening.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.